Okay, so now we'll start it. So in the earlier class, okay, so in the earlier class, I think we have discussed about this two equation, namely the amount of energy required delta E when an electron makes a transition from lower energy level to higher energy level. This much of energy is required. Or the same amount of energy is emitted when an electron returns from higher level to a lower energy level. Okay, so delta E is the energy required when an electron makes a transition from lower to higher, or conversely we can say that delta E is the energy released when an electron makes a transition from higher energy level to lower energy level. So here N1 denotes the lower energy level and N2 denotes the higher energy level. Okay, and how is delta E related to wavelength? It's inversely proportional. It's directly proportional to frequency. It's inversely proportional to the wavelength. Okay, longest wavelength means I have discussed this. Longest wavelength means the energy difference should be small. Okay, and shortest wavelength means the energy difference should be large. I think we have done one problem related to this. Now let us come back to this original problem. Okay, so first of all, let us go through the question. The question says, what is the energy in which unit? Joules. Fine, this is in joule. To shift an electron of which atom? Of hydrogen atom. Why do you think this hydrogen atom is mentioned out here? Okay, so if hydrogen atom is written out here, then yes, the value of Z will be equal to 1. Atomic number of hydrogen is equal to 1. Fine, Z का value 1 put करेंगे. From first Bohr orbit, to fifth Bohr orbit. That means in this case, here an electron is making a transition from first Bohr orbit to, yes, which Bohr orbit? Fifth Bohr orbit. So what is the energy in joules required then? So now do it. It's getting simplified now. It is becoming really simple now. चलो कौन सा equation use करोगे? Yes, delta E. What is the energy required? Delta E is equal to, so there is no minus out here, right? So 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18. Okay. Now what is the value of N1? From first Bohr orbit means the value of N1 is 1 minus 1 by 5 square, 25. The value of Z, I'll put it as 1. Why? Because hydrogen atom. So this will come out to be how much, guys? 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 into LCM लेके करो, ये आएगा 24 divided by 25. Okay, so the unit will be joule per atom. The unit will be joule per atom. So yes, calculate करो कितना आएगा. If you have a calculator, so this will come out to be 2.09 into 10 to the power minus 18. This will come out to be 2.09 into 10 to the power minus 18 joule per atom. Fine. Okay, now energy is absorbed, and energy absorbed always has a positive sign. Energy emitted will have a negative sign. Okay, now the same amount of energy will be emitted when an electron makes a transition from fifth energy level to first energy level. Okay. Okay, so I think, did you understand this? What did I say just now? Did you understand? Okay, so just let me again, let me just clear this point. Okay, so देखो, again I'm writing the equation. Delta E is equal to 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18, 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square into Z square, right? Okay, so make this very clear, right? Tell me if it's not understood. So N1 refers to the initial energy level and N2 refers to your final energy level. So is this thing understood? N1 refers to the energy level where the electrons are initially present, and N2 refers to the energy level where the electrons are finally moving. Out here, where was the electron? From first Bohr orbit means initially कौन सा orbit में था electron? Yes, tell me. Electron first. That means N1 का value 1. It is getting promoted to which orbit? Fifth. So N2 का value 5. Okay, now if the question says what is the energy in joules not required, rather released? What is the energy in joules released? Okay, to shift an electron of hydrogen atom from fifth Bohr orbit to first Bohr orbit. कैसे करोगे ये प्रॉब्लम ना? जस्ट छोटा सा मैं चेंजेस लेके आ रहा हूँ. यहाँ पर ये प्रॉब्लम में जस्ट मुझे बता दो व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ N1 and N2. ये पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम है.
N1
Where
is
is
the
the
5.
very good. You need to understand that, hey. Otherwise you'll get मतलब confused, hey. N1 का वैल्यू 5 होगा क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन इनिशियली फिफ्थ ऑर्बिट में, and where is it moving? First.
1.
Okay, so if you put down the values out here, N1 and N2 का एक ही आएगा, but answer will be negative. Energy required positive, energy released तुम्हारा negative में आएगा, बस value उतना ही आएगा. Got it? So N1 refers to the energy level where the electrons are initially present, and N2 refers to the energy level where the electrons are finally moving. चलो, first problem हो गया ये. What is the wavelength of light emitted? Chalo, just tell me the formula. कौन सा formula use करोगे? How are you going to calculate the wavelength of light emitted?
HV by lambda.
Okay, or did I say in the last class? We already know the formula, right? So 1 by lambda equals to 109,677. Okay, 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square. So don't we
Can't
know
we do
this
with
formula?
HV by lambda?
Okay, you'll do by HV. So you'll do like this. Delta E is equal to H C by lambda. ये बोल रहे हो ना? Okay, let us
Yes.
do. So what is delta E out here? What is the value of delta E? 2.09 into 10 to the power minus 18. What is H? What is the value of H?
6.625.
6.62 into 10 to the power minus
36.
34.
34, sorry.
What is the value of C? Joule.
10 to the
SI
power 8.
unit. 3 into 10 to the power 8. Lambda. Calculate करो तो you divide this by this कितना आएगा, and you find out the answer like this. You find out the answer like this. Okay, so obviously the answer should be same, eh? The answer should be same. Okay, the answer should be same. Here, what is the value of N1? 1. Okay, here what is the value of N2 here? मतलब कहाँ से आ रहा है ये? Fifth Bohr orbit से आ रहा है. Okay, करो. एक ही आएगा. So either you can use this formula or you can use this formula. एक ही है. Answer should come out to be the same. Answer should be the same, eh? Answer should be the same. चलो बाद में ट्राई करो, ठीक है? Now I think this part is understood. Now using this equation, I gave you the concept of ionization energy. Ionization energy last class में किया था. Ionization energy means तुम initial energy level से electron को completely remove करे, मतलब the final energy, final.
So it is coming 9.5 into 10 to the power minus 8.
एक ही आएगा. Yes, absolutely correct. ये भी एक ही आएगा. देखो करके देखो तो. ये 1 by lambda है. ये भी 1 by lambda निकाले ना, lambda निकाला यहाँ पर. Did you find out 1 by lambda or lambda?
Lambda.
Lambda. So यहाँ पर भी निकालो lambda. All right, use your calculator. Don't waste time. We know how to divide. We know how to multiply. It may take some time, but we know, right? अभी हम लोग class 11 में हैं. So multiplying should not be an issue.
Yes, sir.
एक ही आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Obviously एक ही आएगा. Okay. So now you can either use this Rydberg's formula or delta E is equal to hc by lambda. Now, what was the concept of ionization energy, guys? Ionization energy means you are shifting an electron from N1 to which energy level? Infinity energy level. Yes, completely removing an electron. Eh? Completely remove मतलब electron completely remove होके कहाँ जाएगा? It will go to infinite energy level. So N to infinity. So N to infinity means yes. Now the energy required delta E is also known as a ionization energy. So ionization energy is equal to 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18. So by N1 square or N square into, don't forget this Z. So where did this N2 go? 1 by infinity is 0. Okay, now say IE1 divided by IE2. This will be equal to what ratio? Ionization energy is directly proportional to Z. So it will be Z1 square divided by Z2 square. Fine. And it is inversely proportional to Na. So it will be equal to N2 by N1 whole square. We can write like this. Okay, so the ratio of ionization energy we can write like this. Ionization energy of an atom is directly proportional to the square of atomic number and inversely proportional to the shell from which the electron is being removed. Okay, so we can write this. Okay, now finally this long topic is over. So I think we are in a position to discuss about other theories. Okay, other theories. Okay, so you just write down this particular topic, de Broglie's equation. So I think all of us have done this in your school. Have you done it? De Broglie's equation. Have you done it?
No, sir.
Okay. So de Broglie, so okay, radiation, yes, it has a dual character. Okay, it has a characteristics of wave, it has a characteristics of particle. So particle is characterized by what? Particle मतलब particle का क्या क्या मालूम होना चाहिए? It should have a mass. A particle, if it is moving, yes, it should have a velocity. Mass भी है, velocity भी है, it should have some momentum. So these are the characteristic features of a particle. Whereas wave का characteristic features क्या है? Yes, wavelength. नहीं, wavelength. और क्या क्या है? We have studied frequency and so on. These are the characteristics of a wave. So de Broglie, he thought that this radiation, if it behaves both as a particle and as a wave, then there should be some relationship between the particle character and the wave character. There should be some relationship between the particle character and the wave character. Okay, so let us see. Now, according to Einstein's mass energy equivalence, E is equal to mc square. E is equal to mc square. Okay, fine. Now, what is this m? What is this m? Mass. Okay, what is c? Velocity. What is c here? Velocity. C is your velocity. And we also know from Planck's equation, E is equal to h mu or E is equal to hc by lambda. Okay, so both expresses the energy. According to your Einstein's mass energy equivalence, energy of a particle E is equal to mc square. Well, try to understand. E is equal to mc square means What is c? The velocity of the particle. What is m? M is the mass of particle. Now the energy of a radiation wave is given by E is equal to h mu. Both expresses the energy. So can I write down mc square is equal to hc by lambda? Can I write this? Yes. Why can't I write this? Because a radiation, it behaves as a particle also, it behaves as a wave also. And for both, the energy are expressed as E is equal to mc square and E is equal to hc by lambda. Now this c and c will get cancelled. What is this mass into velocity? What is this mass into velocity? What is this? Mass into velocity. Momentum. Product of mass into velocity is momentum. H by lambda. So therefore, lambda is equal to h by p. What is p? P is the momentum. So this
Sir,
is the, yes, tell me.
why is velocity not denoted by v?
Velocity can, it's just a symbol, like if you want to denote by v, कर सकते हो. Okay, but normally velocity of light is denoted by ca. Velocity of particle is denoted by v. Okay, so you can denote it, c denotes a velocity bus. So yes, lambda and momentum. So yes, we have finally derived a relationship between the wave character and the particle character. What is h? What is h? What is h?
Planck's constant.
Planck's constant. So if I remove the constant, I can say lambda is inversely proportional to momentum. Okay, I can say lambda is inversely proportional to a momentum. Lambda is inversely proportional to a momentum. Now, what is the conclusion? चलो इसको discuss करो तो. Yes, someone please discuss it. Explain this. What does this mean? How are they related? Momentum and particle. Inversely proportional. That means if a radiation has greater wave character, the particle character will be minimum and vice versa. Okay, greater the wave character, lesser will be the particle character and vice versa. So these are inversely related to each other. These are inversely related to each other. Okay. Okay. Let me look for some problem. Okay. Okay. So this is a very famous what is commonly known as the de Broglie's equation. A lambda is equal to h by p, and this is the derivation. Okay, although derivation is not required, but you need to understand कैसे derive हुआ. So यहाँ पर calculate the de Broglie wavelength of an electron. Calculate the de Broglie. Calculate the de Broglie wavelength of an electron. Wavelength of an electron. Calculate the de Broglie wavelength of an electron moving with 1% of the speed of light. Moving with 1% the speed of light. Chalo, do it on your own. Do it on your own. Can you do it? Okay. So calculate the de Broglie wavelength of an electron. We are supposed to calculate lambda of an electron moving with 1% the speed of light. Okay, now lambda is equal to h by p. What is p? Momentum. What is momentum? Product of mass into velocity. Chalo, v likh deta hu main. Okay, you can write it v or you can write it as ca. You can write it as v or you can write it as c. Okay. Now, what is the velocity? It is 1% the speed of light. Speed of light kitna hai? 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So that means out here, what is the velocity? 3 into 10 to the power 6 meter per second. Is it understood? It's moving with 1% means speed of light means itna hai. SI unit mein. So what is the mass of an electron in SI unit? What is the mass of an electron? You should be knowing this. We have done it. What is the mass of an electron? Yes. 9.1 into kitna kg tha? 10 to the power minus 31 kg na. Proton ka tha 10 to the power minus 27. Remember? Now we know everything. We have calculated velocity. We have calculated. We know the mass. Right? So we are supposed to calculate lambda. So lambda is equal to, now what is the value of h? Kya hai h ka value? 6.625 or 626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. Joule second. Chalo, now we know everything is known. Okay, everything is known to us. You just have to calculate now. Okay, chalo, do it on your own now. So lambda is equal to h. Be careful with the units. It's all in SI unit. Meter, kg, joule. Fine, meter, kg, all SI unit. So lambda is equal to kitna? H ka 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. Okay, what is P? Mass into velocity. What is mass? 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31. Okay. What is velocity? 3 into 10 to the power 6 kg meter per second. कितना आ रहा है? चल कैलकुलेट करो. कितना आ रहा है? What is the dimension of joule? फिजिक्स में किया होगा. डायमेंशन क्या है जूल का? केजी क्या है बोला था? केजी मीटर स्क्वायर सेकेंड इनवर्स स्क्वायर, राइट? सो आई कैन राइट दिस जूल. डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज. जूल को मैं यहाँ पर लिख सकता हूँ केजी मीटर स्क्वायर सेकेंड इनवर्स स्क्वायर एंड यहाँ पर सेकेंड भी था. ठीक है. सो क्या क्या कैंसिल होगा? केजी केजी, मीटर मीटर, second inverse, so meter. So lambda equals to ultimately answer aega whatever answer 2.4 into 10 to the minus 10. 2.4 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. It was as simple as this. Okay, so joule, kg, meter square, second inverse square. So physics. Okay, you will be doing this unit and dimension में किया होगा ये. Okay. Fine. Okay. So now I'll just move with your next problem. Okay, I think this is understood how to do it. So what do you have to remember? You have to remember the value of Planck's constant and do remember the value of mass of an electron and charge of an electron. Okay. So one more question. The kinetic energy of an electron is, so next question is the kinetic energy of an electron is 4.5 into 10 power minus 25 joule. 10 power minus 25 joule. 4.5 into 10 power. The mass of electron, बताइए, the mass of an electron is equal to कितना है? How much did you write? 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kGa. Okay. Calculate velocity, momentum, and wavelength of the electron. Very good problem. Calculate velocity, okay, momentum, and wavelength of electron. Okay. Now, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? Okay. Now, we know lambda is equal to h by pi. And what is p? P is m by m into v. So, मैंने v लिख दिया यहाँ पर. Fine. Now, what is the formula of kinetic energy? What is the formula of kinetic energy?
Half mv.
Half mv square. So, half mv square. So that means here, how I modify this equation? Here I am multiplying by half and one velocity. So what will I do? Dividing both numerator and denominator by half. So numerator को भी मैं half v into h. I'll write like this. Okay. And denominator में को भी I can write down half m already था. I'm multiplying by one more, v means v square. Can I do this? Yes. Now, what does this denote? Numerator, what does this denote? What does this denote? Half mv square? Kinetic energy. This denotes a kinetic energy. Okay. So, lambda equals to h into c or v, whatever you feel like. H into v or h into c twice kinetic energy. So simple. अब b का अभी derive किया हम लोग ने. We can derive like this, right? We can derive like this. Okay. Fine. Now what is given? Kinetic energy is given. Yes. You have to calculate. अच्छा यहाँ पर तो लेकिन velocity calculate करना पड़ेगा. चलो ठीक है. Now, how are you going to calculate the velocity? How are you going to calculate the velocity? Okay, so let us first calculate the velocity. So we have derived this equation. Okay, now how are you going to calculate the velocity provided your kinetic energy is given? Very simple. Okay, half mv square is equal to kinetic energy, right? Fine. Now, v square equals to twice kinetic energy by m. So therefore, what is v? V will be equal to square root of twice kinetic energy by m. Can I write like this? They're going to simple kinetic energy ka equation related to your velocity. Chalo, now let us do. First, let us calculate this v square. Okay, v square calculate karte hai. So twice into what is the kinetic energy? 4.5. Don't worry about the square root, 10 to the power minus 25. What is the thing? 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31. देखो मैं कैसे करता हूँ इसको. How am I going to do it? Don't worry about the square, right? Now 2 into 4.5 will be approximate. Now exactly कितना हो गया? 2 into 4.5, 9. 10 to the power minus 31. 31 minus 25 is
9.
6. 31 ऊपर ले जाऊंगा तो 6, नीचे क्या है 9.1. So I'll cancel this approximately. 2 times 4.5 is 9, 9.1 cancel, 31 minus 25 is 6. Now v square equals to 10 to the power c. Therefore, what is the value of v then? What is the value of velocity? If v square equals to 10 to the power 6, what is v? 10 to the
10 to the
power
power
3 meter. 10 to the power 3 meter. That's as easy as this 10 to the power 3 meter per second. Hey, velocity is 10 to the power 3 meter per second. First part has been done. Okay, actually, I don't think so. We need this formula. ये formula चाहिए भी नहीं हम लोगों को. Okay, we can do it now. Second, momentum. What is momentum? Momentum is a product of mass into velocity. What is the mass of electron? 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31. What is velocity? 10 to the power 3. What is momentum? 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 28. Velocity, meter per second. Okay, kg meter per second. Kg meter per second. बस मोमेंटम इतना आएगा. Hmm? 10 power minus 20. Got it? Now what if this is also done? Now how will you calculate the wavelength? Very easy, de Broglie's equation. So lambda equals to h by p. H कितना है? 6.62. 6 into 10 power minus 34. And momentum कितना आया? 9.1 into 10 power minus 28. आंसर आएगा तुम्हारा मीटर में आएगा wavelength. बस. Okay, so these are typical problems which will come in a school exam level. So you need to have a understanding about the topic. What is de Broglie's equation? Lambda is equal to h by p. Okay. Now, a similar type of problem. Now, have you ever heard about the momentum of a cricket ball? सुना है कभी? Have you ever heard of cricket ball इतना wavelength का cricket ball का frequency इतना है, cricket ball का wavelength इतना है? Have you ever heard of it? मैंने तो नहीं सुना है. तुम लोग ने सुना है कभी commentary में, TV में during a cricket match?
No, sir.
No, sir, right? But we know every object has a particle character and a wave character. ये पेन का भी particle character भी है, wave character भी है. Everything, right? So let us imagine a cricket ball. Let us imagine a cricket ball. Let us imagine a cricket ball like this. Suppose the mass of this cricket ball is एक mass लो तो say so let us keep it very simple, 1 kg. Okay. And it is moving with a velocity of say kitna 50 meter per second. Okay, we have a cricket ball having a mass of 1 kg का होता है ना? चलो 1 kg तो ज्यादा हो गया. So let us keep it as 0.5 kg. कोई बात नहीं, half kg. And it is moving with a velocity of 50. Now you calculate the wavelength of this cricket ball. How will you calculate the wavelength? चलो calculate करके देखते हैं आज. So wavelength is equal to h by p. H 6.626 into 10 power minus 34 joule per second. Sorry, not per second, joule second. And momentum कितना है? 0.5 into 50 kg meter per second. Now what will be the answer? Give me the exact answer. The 6.626. ये कितना आएगा? 25 into 10 power minus 34 meter. कितना आएगा ये? Say 2 point something. 2.1 into say 10 power minus 33 meter आएगा ऐसा आएगा ना? Now let us see. What is this number? It's very small or it's very big. 10 power minus 33 means it's a very big number or a very small number. Forget about this. Look at this. we have the wavelength is coming around to be something multiplied by 10 to the power minus 33 meters. Something multiplied by so 10 to the power minus 33 is a very small number. It's a very small number. 10 to the power minus 33 means 0.000000001 like this. That means the wavelength of a cricket ball is so small that it cannot be measured. It's so small that it's infinitely small, it cannot be measured. Why? Because the particle character ज़्यादा है, इसमें mass ज़्यादा है, velocity ज़्यादा है. Velocity तो कमी है, लेकिन mass देखा ना, mass ज़्यादा है. So we never talk about the wavelength of a macroscopic object. Okay, wavelength किसके लिए discuss करेंगे? For microscopic object whose particle character are extremely small. But for macroscopic object, their particle character are predominant, not the wave character, right? It's proved that the wave character is so small, the wavelength is so small that it cannot be measured accurately. तो measure ही नहीं कर पाओगे. इतना छोटा है, कैसे measure करोगे ऐसा wavelength? 10 to the minus 33 means it's an unimaginably small number. Got it? So ये de Broglie's equation, they are inversely proportional. Like particle character ज़्यादा है तो so wavelength तुम्हारा extremely small. Okay. So I think this is understood now. Okay, now I have full faith on you all. I know you all can do this type of problem now. Okay, de Broglie's equation has been discussed elaborately now. Okay. Now we will discuss something known as a Heisenberg uncertainty Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Have you done in your school this principle? Have you done in your school? Obviously, you must have done it. So what is the statement? Okay, what is the statement of this Heisenberg uncertainty principle? So let us first discuss the principle. Okay, what does it state that? It states that, okay, Heisenberg uncertainty. Any idea? Yes, any one of you? Can you say what is Heisenberg uncertainty principle? पता होना चाहिए. So it states that it is impossible to measure simultaneously the exact position, the exact position and momentum, okay, or we can add on our velocity as well, of an electron. So it is impossible to measure simultaneously the exact position and momentum of an electron. So this is the statement, right? This is the statement. What does this mean? This means that, okay, we cannot measure precisely where the electron is, that means location, and the momentum of electron accurately at the same time, simultaneously. Okay, now, yes, just listen, it's just like a story. Suppose I want to determine the position of an electron. I know according to Bohr's theory, अभी तक मुझे इलेक्ट्रॉन का एटम का पिक्चर क्या मालूम है? एक बीच में न्यूक्लियस होता है, गोल गोल इलेक्ट्रॉन घूमता है न्यूक्लियस in circular orbits. Okay, and suppose I want to determine the position of the electron. I want to determine the position of the electron. Hey, by the way, can you see an electron with a ultra microscope? Is it possible to see an electron? Huh? You want to know the position of an electron. Position जानने के लिए तो you must see this electron. Is it possible to see with the microscope? Yes or no? Obviously, the answer is big no. Atom तो दिखाई, molecule we cannot see. Okay, so electron कैसे दिखाई देगा? So there must be indirect method. Directly तो we cannot see. Direct देखने से तो बस कहानी खत्म होगी. Chemistry would have been very easy. But the thing is that we cannot see it. Okay. So indirectly क्या करेंगे हम लोग? So how are you going to see? Okay, so we are going to incident some light on this electron, and when this light is reflected, okay, when this light is reflected, okay, we can know the position of the electron, right? Indirect method. Directly so we cannot observe with the microscope, so indirectly we'll incident this electron with some light, and when the light is reflected, we can know the position. Eh? But light, as we all know, it is associated with some energy. What is the energy associated with light? E is equal to h mu. E is equal to h mu. Right? Fine. Now listen, it has some energy, light. So when light falls on this electron, okay, so electron move kar raha hai to, electron is moving, so light is falling on it. Right? What do you think will happen to the velocity? Suppose we are moving, suppose a particle is moving, and suppose, okay, it is incident by some force. So what will happen to the velocity of this particle? Of velocity, yes, it will
Increase.
It will change, it will increase, it will increase, it will change. That means when we determine the position of an electron, exactly what is happening to the velocity? इसका velocity क्या हो रहा है? Change हो रहा है. Due to the impact of this photon, the velocity of this electron is changing. अब velocity change होगा तो obviously momentum change होगा. That means जब हम लोग particle का precisely position determine करने जा रहे हैं, तब इसका क्या change हो रहा है? Velocity और momentum change हो रहा है. मतलब दोनों को हम लोग precisely, simultaneously, okay, we cannot determine the position and velocity, okay, accurately at the same time. This is a Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So we can say that we cannot say accurately where the electron is moving. We cannot determine with 100% accuracy where the electron is moving. Okay. Now ये तो हो गया. Okay. Now mathematically, how it can be written is delta P into delta X greater than equal to H by 4 pi A. So there is a Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Okay. So what is delta P? Delta P is the uncertainty or inaccuracy. Inaccuracy or uncertainty in the measurement of what? It is the inaccuracy or uncertainty in the measurement of momentum. It is the uncertainty or inaccuracy in the measurement of momentum. So what is delta X? Similarly, it is the inaccuracy or uncertainty in measurement of position. Okay. Now I can modify this equation as, instead of delta P, I can add, what is delta P? Mass into velocity. Moment of the mass into velocity into delta x equal greater than equal to h by 4 pi. Okay, so mass to constant, mass is constant. So if I take this mass outside like this, I can write like this. Mass to constant, only the velocity will change. Delta represents the change, uncertainty. Mass to uncertain, electron ka mass to certain, 9.1 into 10 to the minus 31. There is no uncertainty in the mass. So if I just rearrange this, I can write this as delta V into delta x greater than equal to h by 4 pi ma. So this might come in your objective MCQ. So this is one form of Heisenberg uncertainty principle in terms of momentum and position. This is another form of Heisenberg uncertainty principle in the form of velocity and position like this. Now यहाँ पर m कहाँ से? Yes. So remember delta p represents the that means the uncertainty in the measurement of momentum is delta p, and the uncertainty in the measurement of position is delta x. H, as we all know, it's a Planck's constant. So this was all about your Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Okay. So let us see one or two questions related to this. Is it understood, Heisenberg? Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
पक्का? School में पढ़ा है ये? Have you done this in your school?
Sir, revision is going on daily. We are having our exams.
Okay, so we'll quickly finish this chapter. So important chapters are ahead of us. So after this, we'll be doing which is the next chapter? I think periodicity. Okay, we'll be doing that. Okay, so let us write down one problem. Okay. So calculate the uncertainty in position of a dust particle calculate the uncertainty in position of a dust particle with mass equal to 1 milligram if the uncertainty in its velocity is if the uncertainty in its velocity (5.5 into 10 power minus 20 meter per second). Okay, and yes, again the value of h is given 6.626 into 10 power minus 34 joule, not per second, joule second. Chalo. So here what I would advise you, we all know the formula. Be careful with the units. Be careful with the units. Here the velocity, the value of Planck's constant is in SI unit. तो सब हम लोग को SI unit में convert करना पड़ेगा. Just you need to take care of that thing. Okay. So you just need to take care of the unit. So everything is in SI unit now. So let us start. Fine. Now, what is the equation we'll be using? We'll use using delta V into delta X is equal to H by 4 pi ma. Right? It was greater than or equal to, हम लोग यहाँ पर equal to use करेंगे. So what is the uncertainty in velocity? That means given the value of delta V is 5.5 into 10 to the power minus 22 meter per second, and the value of H is also given 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second, and I think the mass of that dust particle is also given. Kitna hai mass? 1 milligram. 1 milligram is equal to how many kg? 1 milligram is equal to how many kg? 1 milligram is equal to milli, means 10 to the power minus 3 gram. 1 gram is equal to 1000 milligram.
Six.
Again, gram को तुम kg में convert करोगे तो again it will be 10 to the power minus 6 kg. Okay, 1 milligram is equal to 10 to the power minus 3 gram. 1 gram equals to पता है कितना kg है? 10 to the power minus 3 kg. Okay. And now everything is known. So what are you supposed to calculate? क्या calculate करना है? Uncertainty in position. Let us calculate delta x. So delta x equals to h 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. Okay. We have 4. What is the value of pi? 22 by 7. What is the mass? 10 to the power minus 6. And ये delta v नीचे आएगा. What is delta v? 5.5 into 10 to the power minus 20. Now इतना हम लोगों को calculate करना है. Okay. So this is the uncertainty in position. This is the uncertainty in position. So calculate करो. Calculate करके देखो. So this will be approximately 9.59 or 9.6 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Right? Okay, so joule को again, joule मतलब तुम्हारा kg meter square second square. Right? ये kg का joule का dimension ही है. Don't forget it. Sorry, second inverse square. Physics से पढ़ोगे. That means, देखो, the uncertainty in the position of a dust particle is quite low. Okay, that means dust as compared to an electron, it's million times bigger than an electron. Okay, so the uncertainty in the position of dust particle is very less. That means we can accurately determine the position of a dust particle. The uncertainty is extremely low. The uncertainty is extremely low. The uncertainty is extremely low. Okay. Now, can you do such type of problem now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. चलो कर पाओगे, कोई issues नहीं है. Okay. You can easily do it now. Fine. But अब देखो ना, यहाँ पर मैंने ये क्यों आया मेरा, क्योंकि मास था तुम्हारा 10 to the power minus 6. यहीं पर तुम इलेक्ट्रॉन करो तो calculate the uncertainty in the position of an electron. इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पर क्या आएगा, इलेक्ट्रॉन लोगे तो 10 to the power minus 31 आएगा. Yes, 10 to the power minus 31 आने से the uncertainty will be very. चलो करके देखते हैं हम लोग. हाँ, now instead of dust particle मैं यहाँ पर इलेक्ट्रॉन लूंगा. So इलेक्ट्रॉन का जस्ट मैं मास चेंज करूंगा, वेलोसिटी उतना ही रहने दो. चलो वेलोसिटी उतना ही रहने दो. So 10 to the power minus 31. 9.1 भी भूल जाता हूं मैं. ओके, जस्ट 10 to the power minus 31. कितना आएगा ये देखो तो, 10 to the power minus 31 करने से. So ये आएगा 3120 means 10 to the power minus 41. 10 to the power minus 41 ऊपर जाएगा तो 41 minus 34 is 10 to the power 7. So it will be something multiplied by 10 to the power minus 7. इतना ही आएगा ना. I have not calculated this, छोड़ दो. I've just calculated this. 10 power minus 41 ऊपर जाएगा, 41 minus 34. ये number क्या है? Something into 10 power or something into 10 power 6. But this number is quite big now. That means for a microscopic particle, the uncertainty in the position is very high. Dust particle के लिए it was very low uncertainty. That means we can accurately determine the position of a dust particle क्योंकि uncertainty बहुत ही कम था. In case of electron, we cannot exactly determine the position of an electron because the uncertainty in the position of electron is now becoming very high. Okay, so this Heisenberg uncertainty principle, we cannot accurately determine both the position and momentum of a electron simultaneously. It's not possible. Okay. So this type of problems might come, one or two. So remember the statement. Okay, remember the equation of Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So अभी हम लोग ने बोला we cannot determine the position of a moving particle such as electron simultaneously. Okay, so now orbit बोलने से तो हम लोग को दिमाग में क्या गोल गोल है, इलेक्ट्रॉन घूम रहा है. फर्स्ट ऑर्बिट मतलब it is at a distance, we can calculate the radius of an orbit. So अभी Heisenberg uncertainty principle पढ़ा, it says that we cannot determine the position of an electron accurately. Okay, so now came the concept of orbital. Now came the concept of orbital. So we accurately know the position of electron. So what is an orbital? What is the concept of orbital? An orbital is defined as a three-dimensional. It is defined as the three-dimensional region in space. Region in space where the probability of finding an electron is maximum. So this is a direct consequence of Heisenberg uncertainty principle. And now we cannot know where the electron is. So we can just picturize an electron as orbital. And what is an orbital? It is a region in space. Space means three-dimensional. It is a three-dimensional region in space where the probability of finding electron is maximum. So what we can visualize now? We can mathematically calculate the probability of finding an electron. There are some regions where the probability of finding electron is high, and there are some regions where the probability of finding electron is low. So an orbital, it gives a picture, okay, where the probability of finding an electron will be maximum. Okay, so this is the definition of orbital. Okay, so there is again one topic. There is one topic, okay, which I'll do in the last part. Okay, wave Schrodinger's wave equation बोल के एक topic है. I'll do that in the last topic. Okay, last. That will be my last topic. Now I'll just simplify the things now. I'll just simplify the things. Now we are moving towards the main core of chemistry. So you can say this is the ABC of chemistry. Okay, it's an entirely new concept. We can say this is an ABC of chemistry. So listen very carefully. Okay, so I'll just give you 1 minute of rest time. Okay, I'll just drink water and come. So electron. So quantum numbers are a set of numbers which helps us to define an electron completely. Okay, which are used to specify the position and energy of an electron in an atom. Okay, so we can say these are numbers which are used to specify the position and energy of an electron in an atom. So these numbers are known as your quantum numbers. So quantum number, what are quantum numbers? Quantum numbers are a set of numbers which helps us to define an electron complete. It gives a complete address of an electron. So we can say it provides a complete address of an electron. Okay, so what are these numbers? So there are 4 set of numbers. Number 1 is known as principal quantum number. It's denoted by small n, right? It is denoted by small n. Principal quantum number, small n. Number 2, it's known as a azimuthal. Azimuthal. So each one of these have some significance. Azimuthal quantum number, it is denoted by L. Okay. The third one, magnetic quantum number. Now this chemistry part is going to be really interesting. Hey, okay, you guys are going to love it now. Magnetic quantum number, and last is your spin quantum number. So right now you must be thinking, sir, what is this quantum? Kya hai? Principal, azimuthal, magnetic, what are these? It's so complicated. Okay. So in the next class, we'll analyze each of these quantum numbers one by one. We'll discuss these quantum numbers one by one. Okay. So right now we don't have much time left. Okay. So I'm not going to start it because next class I'm going to start and end in the same class. Okay. Because these are related to each other. So if I discuss principal quantum number in today and azimuthal quantum number in the next class, they will be mixed up. Fine. So these are the 4. Now, if we know the values of N, L, M, and S, so we can write an essay on the electron. ये electron कौन सा shell में, इसका energy कितना है, okay, what is the shape, कौन सा orbital में, what is the shape of that orbital, how is it oriented, okay, so how does it rotate, we can have a detailed information about that electron with the help if these 4 quantum numbers are known to us. So in the next class, okay, so we'll be discussing about principal, your azimuthal, your magnetic, and your spin quantum number. So what I suggest you is, okay then.